Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about our American pronunciation. So I have a guest today, my lovely husband, who agreed to join us and talk a little bit about his experience in learning English and improving his pronunciation. I don't know if I mentioned, but his name is Dan.
Yeah, I'm Dan. Nice to meet you.
Okay, so we are both from Moldova. We were born there, we grew up there, and we had very similar educational trajectories. I feel like we went into a much more Americanized speech style and pronunciation because I was watching, for example, American soap operas. And I would just imitate the actors. What were you watching when you were a kid? Or if you had anything to watch in English?
We had a TV channel with Romanian subtitles, and the movie was in English. So that's where I would hear most of the American English. And I was also listening to music. I was super into hip hop and mostly Eminem, and I was listening to all his songs. And he has some really interesting songs and words.
Very interesting words. Let's not go into that. Did you watch any cartoons when you were growing up?
Cartoon Network. I was lucky enough to have it for a few years, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
And there was like a lot of TV. One of my favorite TV shows were from that channel.
And it was also translated, right?
Actually, it was not translated at all. No.
Really?
Yeah, it was just pure English, and probably 50% I wouldn't understand. But yeah, I would catch the meanings and stuff. Yeah.
So did you have any sounds that you were like, I need to work on this sound because it doesn't sound the same, like, or you couldn't catch what was wrong?
I knew that my R's were pretty good.
Yeah.
Somehow I developed the R's.
Yeah.
There were some other sounds, probably the connected ones, the connected speech where you just go from one word to another one. That I think I was having troubles with those. And then other sounds, you opened my eyes about them, like the th, right? Th.
So with the th, you used to say
F.
th.
Yeah, because we were told in school that it's okay to say.
So your teacher was saying, well, okay, so
Yeah.
it's not like completely wrong, but that's not considered proper English. The proper sound is actually with your teeth, with your tongue between your teeth, like th or the. I remember you were telling me about a tongue twister.
Yeah, I was doing this in extra English course that I enrolled into.
Sorry, was it the same
class.
teacher?
No, it was a different one. Yeah, it was a better teacher because you'd pay money for that one. So
That one was paid well.
Yeah, that was paid. And we were practicing some tongue twisters there. And the funny one was the he threw three throws.
He threw
three free throws.
throws.
I was saying with the F, so I was saying he threw three throws. And I was just
So
like,
good,
I'm
fast.
so good. I'm so fast at it because I didn't know. It's not about being fast.
He threw 3 free throws.
He threw 3 free throws. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
A lot harder,
it hurts
right?
a little bit.
So now you can't say th anymore because now you've switched to th, right?
Yeah, I was working really hard on that one. I felt embarrassed when you mentioned it that I'm not
That's when
saying
we
it.
started dating, and I was
Yeah.
like, sorry, we need to fix that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm so good, right? And you're like, no, you're actually pronouncing this wrong. I was like, what?
I don't remember that.
I didn't even know about this.
There's a lot of different things and tools that you can use nowadays to improve your accent and pronunciation. Things we didn't have when we were growing up. We are 90s babies. And I want to show you an app that I found. It's called BoldVoice. Thirsty.
Let's pause to troubleshoot. Thirsty.
Thirsty. Bathtub.
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 Wow.
It analyzes your speech and it gives you real-time feedback on what to work on and improve your American accent. They've kindly offered to sponsor today's video, so thank you so much, BoldVoice, for supporting this channel. What I like about this app is that it was actually built by real Hollywood coaches from the US, and it's not just an algorithm, you know? Okay, so you begin with the speech scan. I just did mine and I got a 99% score, so do you want to do yours?
Yeah.
Tap the record button and read the sentence below.
I made 3 sugar cookies and a great fig cake. Who's the new theater student over there? No, don't put those things above the bathroom sink.
Ready to see your results?
Are you shaking? Are you scared?
You sound good.
Oh my
Your level,
god,
read
95.
95. It's not
What?
99, but it's 95.
Wow.
Amazing. Great job. Okay, so now when you go to next,
Those It's a problem with those.
So you had 64% on the and the.
64 and then the.
So this is how your lessons are going to be created based on the sounds that you had a bit of an issue with
Makes
in your
sense.
speech test. You can go to Sound Library and they have all the vowels and all the consonants here, and you can choose whichever sound, for example, you need to work on. And then you have your actual coach
The sound like thought.
who basically explains everything to you. And here it tells you how your mouth and your tongue is moving. If you don't have a speaking partner, you don't know how to practice English at home by yourself, you go to the AI chat and then it gives you all these role play topics.
So, if you could hang out with one character from Friends for a day, who would it be and what would you do?
Okay, I think I would like to hang out with Chandler because he's just so funny. I suggest you practice it. Chandler!
Maybe they think it's chandelier.
No, it's, hold on. Let's go to this word. Chandler. Chandler. You can listen to yourself too. Oh, D. I missed the D.
Chandler.
Chandler.
Ah,
99.
oh my-
Okay, and if you're preparing for something specific, like a presentation, for example, you could just go to Just Speak and then say exactly what you want to say during that presentation, and then you'll get your pronunciation analyzed and you'll get feedback right away. Honestly, this app has everything you need to improve your pronunciation. The important thing is to commit and do it regularly and consistently. I wish I had something like that when I was learning English.
Me too.
So if you'd like to give BoldVoice a try, they're offering a full week for free so you can see if it works for you. And if you'd like to subscribe, make sure to use the download link in the description below and use the code RODICA for 10% off. So big thanks to BoldVoice for helping us improve our pronunciation. Okay, so with music, Eminem and a lot of other rap, you were imitating or you were repeating after them? You were like singing along, or what were you doing? Or you were just listening?
Yeah, I was doing everything. I would imitate and like sing along, right? Like rap along. And now they call it shadowing, right?
Yep.
I didn't know about shadowing back then, but I was doing it out of passion and as a hobby. And then I also was recording some songs. I would write some songs and start recording them myself in my homemade little studio with a mic.
You had a studio.
A closet studio, like most of the
Teenagers?
the teenagers back then. They were into hip hop. A closet studio. Yeah.
I know a lot of you are a bit confused sometimes on how to do shadowing and what that is. So for songs, it's basically singing along. It's like karaoke. But for videos, you can do shadowing. If you're a beginner, you can pause and repeat after that person and try to mimic exactly the way they said that, the melody and the tone and pronunciation and everything, without worrying about what they said or the grammar or the vocabulary, nothing. You just repeat. You're like a parrot. When's the last time you did shadowing?
Very long time ago.
We're gonna do that with one of my videos on TikTok. I'm gonna show you the first maybe 20 seconds of this video so you get familiarized with what I'm talking about. And then we're gonna go play the video and you're gonna try to say the same thing right after me, like shadowing me. This is the first time I'm asking Dan to do this. Okay, so this is the video.
Somebody asked me the other day how we moved to Canada. We moved in 2017 and we used a program called Express Entry.
Excited and nervous
Do you
at the
want
same
me to
time.
show you first how to do it?
No, I think I got it.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody asked
me the other day how we moved to Canada. We moved in 2017 and we used a program called Express Entry, which
Okay, now I'm gonna stop you because
I'm
you
reading.
were looking at the subtitles.
you caught me.
So the
Okay.
videos have subtitles. So
do I
was-
cover the subtitles or what?
yes, I will
Okay.
not show you the video.
Oh my god, it was so much easier with
I know.
subtitles.
Somebody asked me
The other day how we moved to Canada. We moved in 2017. We used a program called Express Entry, which I think it had
maybe
been launched for maybe
2 or 3 years
two or three years before we applied.
Okay, so when you were looking at the video the first time, obviously you looked at the subtitles. The second time, or the second part of it, is that you knew what was coming in the first 20 seconds that you had already listened to. And then the third level is kind of like not knowing what's coming and just trying to shadow. Because you're not training only your pronunciation, you're training your attention and how quickly you're okay to let things go. Very important.
Yeah, I like, stood there for a second. I was like, do I know what it is, or do I just let it go? Because it was a lot about listening. Because when you have it in your ears, it's so much easier because you would catch these connected.
Yeah.
But here, I was just like repeating whatever I was hearing.
So when you work on your pronunciation or on your shadowing, it's good to have the sound you're listening to somewhere a little bit further, as if like a person would talk to you. Because if you have it in your ears, like next to your eardrums, and it's like noise canceling headphones, and you can hear like the way that person is breathing and like spitting and everything, it's too clear. In real life, it's not that clear.
Wow, I love your teaching techniques. They're so effective.
Okay, so before you mentioned connected speech, right? So what that means is that in every native language, just like yours, you speak in connected speech, which means every single word is connected so tightly together that some sounds either disappear or they change completely. For example, if you say something like, sounds good to me, right? When you see it on a piece of paper, you could read sounds good to me. How would you say it in connected speech?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me. So what sounds do you think are affected by connected speech? Sounds good to me.
No clue. Maybe like S and D sounds good. Good.
So
G?
do you notice any sounds disappearing? Sounds good to me.
No.
Okay, so when you say sounds good to me, you're so used to hearing this expression because we've said it a million times. You hear it a million times. It's very, very common.
Yeah, sounds good.
But the D in good disappears. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. It's not sounds good to me. It's not sounds good to me. It sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. You don't say both D and T, so D disappears. Sounds good to me. Does that make sense now?
It does, yeah.
Okay, so there are hundreds of situations in daily speech, just like in your native language, when you say something very quickly, you're gonna mesh some things together there. So if you learn words in isolation, you're going to pronounce all the sounds, right? If you see the word good, you're gonna say good, good, good. But if it's sounds good to me, good to me, good to me. Now that D is irrelevant because in combination with T in connected speech, you don't need it. Right?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So that's how native speakers sound so much more different than when you're learning words in isolation. When people listen to me, I speak a little bit more clearly. I enunciate and I articulate a lot more because I always have to be very clear for my students that don't speak English. But native speakers don't have to worry about that, just like you don't worry when you speak your native language. You want to do another expression?
Yeah, what's that?
Okay. Behind closed doors. You say it.
Behind closed doors.
Okay. So in connected speech, behind closed doors, what sounds are affected there?
Probably D. I don't know.
Now,
I'm just gonna guess. I'm
faith.
just gonna guess.
Yes, you are correct. So why is it D?
Because usually the D goes away in
At the
connected
end
speech.
of a word. See, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Dan is learning some rules based on what he's doing.
A lot of D's.
A lot of D's. So if you say behind closed doors as words in isolation, you're going to say that D. Behind closed doors. Behind closed doors. The only D is from doors because it's at the beginning of the word. Behind closed doors, right? So behind closed doors.
Wow, yeah.
Right? But when you, as an English learner, are trying to figure out why you have a thick accent and how is it different because, you know, you say each word and it sounds good in isolation, but connected, they just sound a little bit off, right? And that's connected speech.
Bravo.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier the and the R sounds, right? So I prepared a tongue twister for you. Dan has never seen it before. It's an odd tongue twister because I just created it with AI. But I'm gonna show it to you.
Okay.
And I want you to try to figure out how to say it as quickly as you can, but go from slow to fast.
Okay.
Okay? It's nothing crazy. You can do it yourself. So I'm going to put it on the screen. It's always good to do mouth warm-ups before you want to do any sort of English speaking or practice. Warm up your muscles. Okay, that is the tongue twister. Can you see it? Please. You have the stage.
Here goes nothing. Rodica runs through rainy roads, recording thorny roses.
Is it good? Do you like it?
Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
Okay. So say it one time very articulately, and then one time as fast as you can.
Okay. Rodica runs through rainy roads, recording thorny roses. Rodica runs through rainy roads, recording thorny roses.
Okay, that was pretty good. So if you find that it's like a little bit hard with something right at the beginning, that is your pain point. So say...
the app was right.
I know.
The 60% was right.
So try to say only those two words in combination.
Runs through, 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 runs through. That's how you practice.
Okay, perfect.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. So now it's not runs through anymore, but it's runs through. Okay. Do you want to try it again?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go. Okay.
Okay.
Rodica runs through. There it is. That like stunned me. Yeah. Rodica runs through rainy roads, recording thorny roses.
So if you have a tongue twister and you're stumbling upon certain words or sounds, it doesn't mean that the entire tongue twister is challenging. It means that only those two connections are not perfected, right? So if you feel like you always stop at a certain word, that's the word you need to practice with the word before it and after it. And the point of all these tongue twisters is that you get familiarized with them. Because when I say things like, how much would chuck if I would chuck would, it's not a pronunciation thing. What? I've just said it so many times that I remember it as a song. So if you say Rodica runs through rainy roads or whatever, you're just going to say it so many times. Your mouth is going to learn how to say that. So in speech, the more you practice, the more expressions you're going to say again and again and again and again, because English is not that vast. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, but if you feel like your muscles are a little bit in pain, and after speaking English for 20-30 minutes, you feel like, oh, your jaw is kind of weird, that's okay. That's normal. That's good. It means that you're actually making an effort to pronounce things differently than you are in your native language. Because if you have the word window, for example, you can say window, because that's my mouth in my native language. It doesn't have the window, right? Window. And it's a little bit hard to do the tube for my lips twice in a word, window. And if I had to say it multiple times, window, then it would start hurting. Like my lips would start hurting. But if I say window, I could say it infinitely because my muscles are moving just like they are in my native language. Yeah. How many times it was taking you to say something?
A lot. Yeah. Sometimes I would have like recording sessions for like maybe 2 hours straight.
Oh my God.
And I would record 70, 80 times, so 80, almost 100 times, just like one line or two lines to make them sound perfect. So
wow.
I remember to this day, I would have take 70, and I was like, did it really take me? Because if it's not one thing, it's another one, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you want to not have like one sentence recorded, right?
Yeah.
You want to record the entire verse.
Yeah.
So that's like 16 bars. So you have to do it perfectly. And then, you would make a mistake here or make a mistake there. And it was a lot of
repetition.
Practice. Yeah.
Okay, so being now where we are, do you think you're still working on your English or on your pronunciation or not anymore?
I wish I would work more
Well,
I
now
know
you
I
have an
have
app.
to. Yeah, that app's pretty cool actually. I like the percentages.
Yeah. The
being
scoring.
yeah, the scoring. It gives you like purpose and yeah, motivates you to repeat and do better.
Yeah, I do work on my pronunciation, I think, because a lot of people online tell me if I say something wrong. And then also if I hear something in a movie or I see it on, I don't know, somewhere in an article, I see a word and I'm like, how the hell do I say this? You know, like ubiquitous. I didn't know this word, ubiquitous, and I saw it and I was like, that's a weird spelling. Like, and then I had to listen to it and train my mouth ubiquitous, 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 you know, to say it. So then I feel confident to use it if I need it at some point.
Yeah, I think like feedback is really important in this. So like even you would like 20 years later after knowing English for so many years, right?
Yeah.
You have people giving you some feedback and you learn from it.
Yeah.
We didn't have being in a different country, not having feedback, real feedback from English speaking people. This feels like amazing to just post videos online and then you get feedback.
Yeah.
The app is giving you feedback.
Yeah, like if you're learning English now, it's so much more accessible, you know, to work on your pronunciation, your accent, and there's so many resources online. But ultimately, it has to be you that does it all. You can't just be watching videos and hopefully and hope to like magically get that skill all of a sudden in your brain. Like you can't do that. You can learn a lot, but you still have to practice it yourself. Okay, thank you so much everybody for watching and for staying till the end, and thank you Dan for being here and sharing your stories.
It's a pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.